And honestly, it's a huge leap backwards. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Dr Paul Hutchison.
Alofa lava, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to speak on these three bills, the New Zealand Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill, the Mental Health Commission Amendment Bill and the Charities Amendment Bill, all of whose genesis emanates from the Crown Entities Bill from which this debate started. Mr Speaker, I was heartened to hear the Honourable Ruth Dyson mention how well the committee functioned, even though there was slight disagreement on the third mentioned bill. But Ruth Dyson did say that there was considerable enthusiasm for the New Zealand Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill, and I'm very glad to hear that. But I think it is important that she does understand what this is all about, and this is all about improving financial efficiency and effectiveness and increasing the future viability of these agencies. And Mr Speaker, there is absolutely no doubt that making every dollar count in this current environment is absolutely vital. And we find so often those on the other side of the House just tend to forget about it. There's no question that in the area of health we saw the health budget double over 9 long, arduous years for very little gain. Money was sprinkled all over the place for very little, and that's why it is so important that this excellent national government does concentrate on making every dollar count. So I did like the line from Dr Cam Calder: the national-led government is not about growing the public service, but growing services to the public, Mr Speaker. This means more frontline service delivery and more efficient back office services. And today at the Health Select Committee, I was very impressed to hear Dr Lester Levy, CEO of the Waitemata and Auckland DHBs, recount how effectively back office services had been used with focus on increasingly effective and efficient frontline services. I also had a briefing from NZTE today, and they are doing a similar sort of thing. So right throughout the government service, this excellent national government is concentrating on extra efficiency and effectiveness. Mr Speaker, I was interested to hear Kevin Haigh say that it's often very difficult to see the benefit of structural change. That is so. And it's always been of huge concern to me, the massive structural change that occurred in 1999, well, a few years after 1999, when the Labour government decided to absolutely restructure the health system, and it is very hard to see, as Mr Haigh pointed out, where the gains have come. It's really only been in the last 4 years that we have seen significant gains in the health sector under the excellent leadership of Tony Ryle. Mr Speaker, the establishment of a new health promotion agency, I think, is very much something dear to my heart, and again, as Mr Haigh pointed out, he very much hopes to see this as the engine that drives positive changes, and I'm sure it will. Back in 1999, the advice to the incoming Minister of Health was that the greatest gains in health would come from health promotion, disease prevention, and the integration of primary and secondary health, and that is hugely important, and it is being very much worked on by this excellent national government, whereas there had been certainly a large gap in the previous 9 years. Mr Speaker, again, I did take note of the Honourable Ruth Dyson when she mentioned the great concern about mental health in the 1990s, the fact that both the leaders of the major parties agreed that this was an area that had to be sorted out, hence the Mason report, hence the blueprint, hence the ring fencing of the funding, and consequently it is important to acknowledge the work of the Mental Health Commission over the years. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, that in the future it will function very well in the Health and Disability Commission's office. ALEC is going to be independent. Its evidence-based advisory function is retained within the new health promotion entity, and alcohol harm reduction programs will continue to be funded through a levy on alcohol consumption. As well as that, some of the 7.7 million existing health promotion activity in the Ministry of Health will transfer to the new health promotion entity, and work is continuing on confirming the programs to transfer and the appropriate transition of those programs. So, Mr. Speaker, indeed it is all good in terms of this, these three bills, and I just want to finish off by pointing out that in the commentary to the Crown Entities Reform Bill, Review of the Charities Act 2005, the strong view of government members was that transferring the Commission's current functions to the Department of Internal Affairs will create a more robust, resilient agency, and endorse the intention to do so now rather than after the review of the Charities Act. Whawhatai te lava.
Whawhatai lava. The question is that the New Zealand Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill be now read a third time. All those of that opinion will please say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it.
New Zealand Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill, third reading.
The question now is that the Mental Health Commission Amendment Bill be now read a third time. Those of that opinion will please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote's been called for. The clerk will please conduct a party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
Eight votes in favour.
Māori Party.
2 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Whawhatai lava. Thank you. The ayes are 103, the noes are 17. The motion is agreed to.
Mental Health Commission Amendment Bill, third reading.
The question is that the Charities Amendment Bill number 2 be now read a third time. Those of that opinion will please say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. Aye. The ayes have it. Party vote has been called for. The clerk will please conduct a party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
14 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
2 votes opposed.
Mana.
This is Chair.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to amend...
Order, I haven't called the member. See, we've got a vote in progress. Is this a point of order?
Yeah.
And this is a point of order?
It is a point.
Okay, I call the Honourable Member Dennis Roach.
O'Rourke.
O'Rourke, I'm sorry. Dennis O'Rourke.
I seek leave to amend the New Zealand First vote on the Charities Amendment Bill. It's 8 votes opposed.
Thank you.
Mana,
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand,
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable Members, the ayes are 61, the noes are 59. The motion is agreed to.
Charities Amendment Bill number 2, third reading.
Call on Government Order of the Day number 5.